have we got there? Space Lagoon. How's it going? Can't really see your messages, bro. I think one of them says you're, the other one just says what's. Oh, here we go. What's that say? Yeah, I like yeah, lymphatic phlegm's the shit. Black witchery's the shit. Yeah, I'm all about that, man. That's what it's all about, son. That's what it's all about. Oh, speaking of lymphatic phlegm and stuff like that, today I've been listening to a bit of old Gore, their Consumed by Slow Decay album. Absolute bang. I've got a lymphatic phlegm cover on here as well, amongst all the because you get a bunch of live shit too on this side, and you get a general surgery cover, lymphatic phlegm, carcass. So really cool stuff there. But classic gore grind from 1995 from Brazil. And you know, Brazil is just one of those places which is just, they push out the good stuff, man. They got something in the water, because fucking hell. Yeah, got to love a bit of Black Witchery as well, of course. I don't know what my favourite Black Witchery record is, because I like all of them. But there's definitely they got that flavour. The absolute flavour. Who else is in here? We've got a couple of people by the looks of it. Who else has made their stuff? We've got Space Lagoon chatting away. Good man, good man. Don't know if you guys can hear my music or not, but at the moment I'm playing Eretic Awakening by Necrotomy. This is their demo compilation. Really cool record. Early 90s death metal. So yeah, 90, 91 and 93. These bad boys all came out. Absolute classics. Really cool artwork on the back there too. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's kind of like a pinhead character. Looking pretty cool. But yeah, if I remember rightly, these guys are from, is it Australia, I think? I could be wrong. No, it is Australia, yeah. So yeah, really cool band. That kind of who would I say they're sort of similar to? Just a lot of that kind of death metal from back then, you know, a lot of Entombed kind of influences, but without sounding like Entombed, you know. None of the HM2 stuff going on. Yeah, war metal's a funny one. The war metal I really like, but a lot of the stuff I listen to, it's like, dude, I've heard this like 1,000 times before. It's like the same with anything, like black metal, death metal, grindcore, gore grind, thrash. People are just putting out records. It's like, hey, I've heard this, and you know, cool. But when it comes to war metal, like, you know, the classics, Conqueror, Blasphemy, Black Witchery, Goat Penis, you know, those kind of bands, I've got all the time in the world. Or Nile Domination, fantastic band. In recent years, probably Blood Chalice from Finland, fantastic band. All three of their records they put out have been great. Really cool band. But yeah, for war metal, for the most part, yeah, it's kind of, it's cool. But the few that make it through are fucking wicked. So yeah, I'm all about that. What else we got here? Do you like Destroyer 666? I do. I don't dislike them, but I don't own anything. Like, whenever I listen to an album all the way through, I've been like, yeah, it's cool, but I don't think I was ever in the proper mood to listen to it. But what I have heard, I think, yeah, you know, it's cool, straight up, legit metal. But I don't know, I've got to be in that kind of mind frame to give it a listen. And even then, you know, mate, a lot of people don't like Last Days of Humanity. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I like them, but when I listen to them, I can totally see why people wouldn't like them. What Last Days Have You Heard as well, because their old stuff and their new stuff is vastly different. Like, I don't know if you've heard Sounds of Rancid Juices Sloshing Around Your Coffin, or I was forgetting the second. Hang on, what's it called? It's up there. I see it. Hymns of Indigestible Suppuration. Yeah, I'm terrible with names, man. Yeah, really, really cool records, but everything after that gets really noisy, you know. And I get that, but I like it. But when someone tells me they don't like Last Days, it's like, yeah, I totally understand. It's same with any of this music, man. Absolutely any of it. Oh, yeah, that was some good coffee. Got to keep you, got to keep your mind going. So what, do you like party grind / slam? Is that like party canon kind of stuff? Because if that's the case, then no, not really. I don't have anything against it. It's just when I listen to it, I'm just like, all right, cool. But yeah, you know, so it is what it is. And slam, again, it's like with war metal and everything else. There's some slam bands I listen to that are absolutely fucking brilliant, and then there's some of them where I just think, you're in a band playing a not necessarily simple music, but you can get away with being really, really simple in slam, which is absolutely fine. But when you've got bands putting out like 7 albums, and it's like, dude, this just sounds like every other album you've put out, that every other album has been put out by other bands as well. It's just very predictable, very clean. And then you look at, and some of them, you look at them and it's like, okay, you've got an EP and an album. Absolutely cool. That's really, I'm all about that. But then you've got like 18 different long sleeve variants and 30 different shirts and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, okay, you're in this to meet girls and sell merch, which is fine. If that's what you want to do for a living and you have fun playing music, fucking make it happen. I don't give a shit. It's your time. It's your way of expressing yourself. And it's your way of making money. And I'm never going to knock a sandwich out of a man's hand. Fuck no. But for me, I just think, yeah, this is good. For me, it's sort of like, without trying to be insulting, like Weekend Warrior music for Weekend Warrior music fans, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're at work 5 times a day and you've got your family life. At the weekend you want to go to a show, but ultimately you don't really know the music, you don't really own much music, you listen to a few bands that you don't really go and see, and it's like, that's cool, you do you. But people like myself, you know, absolute crazy people, I fucking breathe this shit all day, every day. That's not to mean I'm the better fan or the bigger fan or anything like that. Because like I say, you just do you, bruv. Do whatever the hell you want to do. But me, you know, I'm posters everywhere. I'm just fucking, there's always music playing. I'm constantly looking for new stuff. I go on Metal Archives looking for shit. You know, I read all the zines from like the 80s and the early 90s and just trying to learn this shit. Because, you know, I love it. You know, I just, constant all the time. I was like, as soon as I get any money and all my bills are paid and I've got like a few quid left over, I'm like, can I add to my collection with this? And if not, never mind. But it's the first thing my mind goes to, you know. And I don't check stores now as much as I used to, like with the distros and shit, because there's just so much stuff coming out now that I'm not really into or a lot of the reissues that come out. You know, they're kind of like, you know, I've either already got them, or it's just, they come out and it's like one of those ones that's just like, you know, sort of thing. Hey, Nate's here. How's it going, Nate? You son of a bitch. And do I play? Yes, I do play. I have a couple of projects that I do, just little one-man projects, because I just, you know, I'm a bit of a loner, a bit of a introvert, so I like doing things my own way. So then, but yeah, I play a couple of one-man projects, a grindcore one, which also does a little bit of sludging stuff. That's called Unmerciful Terror. You can check that out. And then I've also got my one-man like brutal death metal project called Bonesaw Lobotomy. And there's not a lot out by these two projects. Like I think for Unmerciful Terror, I put out a demo cassette and a 2-track sludge record, which still needs to be put on physical. I'll get around to it eventually, but at the moment that's only digital. But yeah, but Bonesaw Lobotomy, I did a split over 10 years ago now with some really cool bands, one of which was Mastectomy, really cool band from Poland, definitely worth checking out. But I am writing more music. That stuff's still active. You know, I'm getting some really cool Bonesaw stuff thrown together. I've sort of been updating the logo a little bit. So there's always stuff coming, but I just don't like putting anything out. You know, like in the past 10, 12 years, maybe, I've probably recorded shitloads of stuff, loads of songs, loads of things like that. But eventually I get it out of my system and I'm just like, you know what? I'm good with that. I don't need to release it. I made it happen. I know it was okay. And then it just vanishes off into the ethos. So only every now and then I'll write something and be like, you know what? And record it. And be just like, yeah, maybe I'll share that. Maybe not. But yeah, every now and then it happens. But I'd love to get like work on a decent like EP for Bonesaw this year, maybe. And you know, I'm writing and recording stuff for Unmerciful Terror as well. But all because I've started it doesn't mean I'm going to finish it anytime soon. Like, because like I said, I just don't put just any old thing out. I like it to be, you know, something that I can keep looking back on and be proud of, like that split with Mastectomy, Hate Inclination, and Numbered with the Transgressors. So it was 4 one-man bands all on one split. Really, really, it was very fond memories of doing that. It was really good fun. And all the bands that were involved, they were all really happy to share the other band's stuff and work as a team. So, no, I liked that sort of thing. I'd love to get back to that again. And that was put out on Rotten Music. So, definitely worth looking into. It's still available. You can go on the rottenmusic.net, I believe it is. Find loads of brutal death metal in there, including the Gutted by One Man split that I was on. So, very, very fun there. Listening to Witch Goat and having a smoke. You know, I haven't heard Witch Goat. What kind of music are they? That sounds like a stoner band, like Witch Goat. That's what that sounds like. A lot of druids in long capes and playing fuzz and just smoke around them and whatnot. Technicolor, a lot of blacks and purples and whites coming out from time to time. That's what I'm getting to mind. How close am I? Was that close? Oh. So what else is everybody listening to? What are you listening to? Space Legume? Do I like Grant Belial's Key? Yeah, they're cool. I don't own anything by them because their stuff's really hard to get a hold of in the UK. Usually due to postage and stuff like that. But also the laws here are really fucked up. Like somebody... Like, I'm not a right winger by any sense. Like, I read like some of these lyrics by Goat Moon, and I just shake my head, roll my eyes, and think, "Fuck me, man! You're not a Viking. You're not a warrior. You're a fucking you're a dude. You're some dude with a chip on his shoulder, you know." But maybe you know something I don't. You know, like exactly like that free speech and stuff. It's like, but mate, if I put on a Goat Moon record, you know I'm listening to it from start to finish because musically that shit is awesome, and I'll always recommend Goat Moon to people. But like about a month or 2 ago, there was a record label here. The name escapes me, but the guy who ran it, it was a right wing sort of you know, rock against communism kind of stuff. So a lot of hardcore and black metal, very right wing sort of things. And he's now serving prison time because he was selling terrorist propaganda, apparently. And so, yeah. And it's not only selling and distributing, but it's also having it in possession as well. If you possess right-wing propaganda, you can do time in this country. And that when people hear that, they're like, what, in Britain? Really? It's like, yeah. I mean, mate, I think something like in the past few years, between 6,000 and 9,000 people in the UK have been arrested just for posting something on Twitter that other people considered to be racist. That's something to think about. So when it comes to importing these kind of albums, I've got to be really sneaky about it. But yeah, I'd get some Grand Belial's Key if it was made, you know, easy for me to get hold of. Because when it's not as well, like you go on a lot of these stuff and you see their albums pop up and it's like £40 for a CD, and it's like, dude, I can't justify that. You know, I'm on the lower pay bracket. You know, but here's what it is. But yeah, people, they all sit there fucking complaining. They say, like, if I listen to Goat Moon or anything like that, like Argo Slant or Nocturnal Mortem or Absurd or anything like that, you know, I give that a listen, and if I like it, I'll listen to it. People go, oh, but if you listen to it, that means you're supporting it. No, it doesn't. I also listen to Napalm Death. I don't support what they're singing about. You know, sometimes, yeah, I'll read something like, yeah, that's true, that's cool. But a lot of it, I'm just sort of like, oh, shut the fuck up, you weird little lefty. What are you talking about? You know, use real life. So it's like, so I listen to Napalm Death. Does that mean I support all of Napalm Death's views? No, it doesn't. Most of my music collection is left-wing stuff. It's mostly grindcore. You know, and a lot of the time I read that stuff, they're like, oh, kill your local cop. And it's like, is that not terrorism? You know, just, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't support that kind of behaviour, but it's music. Music's supposed to be provocative. If you don't like it, well, that says more about you, doesn't it? Just move on. And yeah, Titan Blood are cool. I haven't got any of their stuff, but I wouldn't say no to getting a few of their bits. It's very much what I like about Titan Bloods. They've got a whole war metal thing going on, but they also bring in that kind of atmosphere as well. You know, but it is what it is. See what nice. I stay away from the fascist shit, but that's just me. Personal conviction, I guess. I'm a lefty. Yeah, that's cool. You do you, bruv. You know what I mean? If you don't like the fascist stuff, that's absolutely fine by me, bro. I don't like the attitude. Like sometimes when I read shit, I'm just like, oh, what is this guy saying? But any other time, and a lot of the time as well, I think, how often do these people actually mean it? Do you know what I mean? Like, are they just trying to be offensive? The same with Burzum. It's like, whenever I see Varg Vikernes, and whenever he talks, I think, you sound like an edgy 14-year-old. And I've got nothing against Burzum's old gear. That old shit is fucking wicked. Love me some Burzum. But even like reading all his old interviews, like you can just see that a lot of these sort of opinions he has, they sort of change a little bit over time. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we get it. You're edgy. You've got a little thing. He feels like a bit of a cult leader or whatever. But you know, you do you. We all grow up in different atmospheres, do you know what I mean? In different environments. Like what some people can see, they'd be like, oh, yeah, this is how life is. Like, no, that's not how life is. Life is like this. And it's like, no, you're both right, but you're both wrong as well. You're just from different planes. Different planes. Some cool communist black metal. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it is out there. I mean, what was that? Well, I remember once before there was a what was it? Some band, I can't remember what they were called, but they were anti-fascist black metal, and I was like, all right, anti-fascist black metal, you say? Just take a look at this. I looked at some of the lyrics, and it was just so funny because it was like, if you were to replace the lyrics, like take the word fascist and replace it with the word communist, they'd be like, oh God, this is so terrible. This is terrible. But you do it the other way around and they're like, oh, this is so just. It's like, no, you're still wishing violence on someone else. It's not to say that's how everyone thinks. Every people has their own sort of ideologies on the left and right, and both sides. There's the extreme, there's the fringes, all that. But it is what it is. You know, a lot of people have different points of view. If you don't like it, the best way you can protest is just to not pay any attention. Because when you get all these people sitting there going, oh, God. I mean, how famous do you think Berzin got due to people complaining about him? Do you see what I'm saying? So, yeah, so what's got this? I don't subscribe to any ideology. I like the music, that's all. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same, dude. I'm not left or right. I think both make good points, both make stupid points. My ideology is my own, that I see with my own eyes, I hear with my own ears, and I can't know any more than that. I can make an effort, of course, but who's got time, you know? So, communist black metal has a kind of upbeat feel to it that I like. It's very punk. Yeah, a lot of I like it when black metal gets a bit punky because they remember their roots. Like even some of that old Mayhem stuff. If you put on like Death Crush, there's some real punky riffs on that record. Absolutely fantastic. Ah, hello from Australia. How are you doing? But yeah, just do whatever you want to do, I suppose. You know, it's like Cannibal Corpse write the most horrible lyrics ever, or did at least. And, you know, we weren't worried like, oh, God, they want to kill people and rape babies. No, they're trying to be, you know, edgy. And I think a lot of these people as well, these, like I said, these bands, these racist bands, they probably don't give a shit. You just do you. But every time we put like a dead black guy on the front of a cover, it sells an extra 1,000 because people see it as the edgy shit. And they're like, ooh, it's edgy. Come on, quick. We can look. You know, like how a lot of the punks back in the day, I don't know if any of you youngins will remember this, but at one point, all these hardcore kids and punks were just buying a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook. And, you know, like a lot of goths would buy the Satanic Bible and they're like, oh, yeah, ooh, yeah, I'm edgy. I think it's the same sort of thing. A lot of people want to have these albums just so they can show it to people. Like, yeah, I'm part of the elite crew. No, you're not. You're a wanker. But it's what it is. You know, it is what it is. All good metal needs some punk in it somewhere. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Let's look at Hellhammer, Celtic Frost. You know, great examples right there. What have we got here? Thoughts on slasher films? Yeah, I like slasher movies. I don't like all of them, like with anything, but I find some of them like quite rinse and repeat. But that's pretty much horror in a nutshell, isn't it? And I love horror. But when it comes to slasher films, my favourite ones, if I had to think of any off the top of my head, I love those first 3 Child's Play movies. I think they're awesome. The Jason movies are great. Freddy, Slaughterhouse or Pig Farm Massacre, as it's also known. I did a video on that on this channel. Terrifier is fantastic. I love the Terrifier trilogy, and I'm so glad as well that today's generation has their own slasher icon that actually holds up and stands a test of time. But I know Adam Green tried doing it with Victor Crowley, and I've got nothing against the Hatchet movies. I think they're cool and they've got some great cult value to them. But no one's putting Victor Crowley up there next to, you know, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, all that. But I think Art the Clown has really cemented his place, and I think it's all down to things like old school effects, small sets, and stuff like that. But you know, the most part, they get larger as the films go on, of course, with more budget. But also the director and writers, you know, they just didn't give a fuck. They were like, oh, someone might find this offensive. Don't watch it then. We don't care. We didn't make this movie for you. We made this for people who can handle it. You know, so taking that attitude in with it, I think really, really helped keep the Terrifier series afloat. But yeah, I really like those films. I'm a big fan. And I know a lot of old school horror people just write it off. It's like, yeah, but you haven't actually seen the movies. because it's popular, you're like, oh yeah, shit. And it's just like, fuck off, mate. You know what I mean? I can't stand that fucking bullshit. It's like everyone who wrote off like Morbid Vision's re-recording. You know? And I prefer the original, but before they'd even listened to it, it's a load of shit. They're fucking it. Like, listen to it, you dickhead. Then come up with it. Fucking hell. What about Jeepers Creepers, Candyman, and Scream? They're all movies I own on DVD, my friend. Those are fun fucking movies. I mean, Candyman, I'm a big Clive Barker fan anyway. Like those books of blood, I think are absolutely phenomenal, and I read through them quite often. So, all about that. Scream, the first one, I think is fantastic, which is just, again, it was that kind of time where like slashers were kind of slowing down, and then that came out, and then you got things like Cherry Falls, I Know What You Did Last Summer, etc. And it's like, yeah, this is just Scream. You know, we've got this. And so that's, like I said, with any sort of horror, a lot of it is sort of rinse and repeat. But every now and then you get those ones that shine through, and it's like, you know what, this is legit. I'm all about this. This is cool. So, yeah, I like a slasher movie, particularly if we're going to be talking about a lot of those giallo movies from like Italy and stuff. But I don't see why those can't be called slashers, particularly with things like Cat of Nine Tails or Tenebrae or fucking most of them, you know. But yeah, slashers are great. Did you ever see Scalps? That was a good one. Native American Indian spirits killing a bunch of teenagers. That's always good fun. Intruder as well. That's a fun slasher movie. I like it sometimes when slasher movies are just left as one movie. You know, it hasn't always got to be a franchise. But here's one for you. I'm not a fan of the Halloween movies. Like the first one, I think it's okay. I enjoy it when it's on. I don't own it. I have no desire to get hold of it. But when people are, oh yeah, it's one of the greatest, it's like, I get why it was so important. You know, the legacy speaks for itself. Of course it does. But when I just watch it, I'm just like, all right, it's fine. Just, you know. And then you get these people who are like, oh, how can you call yourself a horror fan if you don't like that? It's like, yeah, you're right, yeah. I love hundreds, maybe even thousands of horror movies, but because I don't like that one, yeah, I'm not a fan. I can't stand that shit. It's like some of these other YouTubers are like, if you don't like this album or you haven't got it in your collection, you're not a true metalhead. It's like, says the fuck who? I don't play that shit, man, at all. And when people try arguing that point with me as well, it never goes well for them, and they always just result with, I don't know, just self-important shit. Like one dude thought he was, I was chatting to years ago, he thought he was an authority on black metal because he knew the dude from Satanic Warmaster. It's like, so? I don't give a fucking shit. Do I like Satanic Warmaster? Of course I do. That stuff's awesome. But I can't stand these fucking purists and gatekeepers and elitists. I know better because I decided that I'm the benchmark of metal, and if no one meets up to my standard, I get to say what's what. Fuck off. I ain't got time for that shit. Who else we got here? Sammy Prepper said hi. How's it going, Sammy? How you doing? Yeah, I've not seen all the sequels to Scream even, mate. I think I saw the second one and I was bored to tears, so I didn't watch the third one or the fourth one. And isn't there like a fifth or sixth one now? I don't fucking know. I watched a couple of seasons of the series when it came out. That was a show that they were making up as they went along, but it had some fine totty in it, so I had to stick to that. Old Sammy, what's going on, Sammy? What's happening? What you listening to, Sammy? What's on? What tunes are being played? If you guys are wondering what it is I'm up to at the same time, I'm cleaning my grinder. Oh, it's gotten all cakey and sticky. So we're going to give it a good old clean. And I thought, why not hang out with the metalheads while I do it, eh? Why the fuck not? Oh, oh. 4:02 a.m. here in Australia. Ah, 4:02. You can't sleep then, bruv. Though it's thanks for going live. You're no problem, man. Are you off then, are you? You nipping off somewhere? Always happy to go live as and when I can. It's also picking the right time as well, because obviously the time zones are just in all over the place are a bit gnarly. But you know, I try to do it so it's at a point where I think everyone might be up, but it's hard to do, you know. It's hard to do. Yeah, you go see how that family's doing, man. Give them my best. Make it happen. This will be uploaded later anyway, so anything you've missed, you can just carry on watching. So make it happen, dude. Nice one. So what else is everyone listening to? Am I into anime? I'm not into it as such, but the anime I do like, I really, really like, you know. So things are like, I like the old school manga. You know, I remember as a kid, I was obsessed with things like the Guyver, Pat Labor, the Street Fighter movie, Fist of the North Star. You know, that kind of gear. You know, but when it comes to newer stuff, some of the Ghibli or Ghibli stuff, that's pretty cool. I like some of the newer Netflix ones too. Like, I really liked the series of Castlevania. I thought that was sick. Castlevania Nocturne wasn't as good as the first series, but I still enjoyed it. I like that kind of stuff. So yeah, you know, Attack on Titan, I thought that was really cool. I mean, I don't think I finished it. I think I was like 6 episodes away from the end, and I was just like, what are we doing? Is this going to end? Is this what is? And I don't know. I got burned out, and I felt like they were changing storylines on the fly, which probably happened in the book. But it was just like, is this supposed to be a twist, or have you just thought, oh, can we make this happen, and then just sort of, you know, act like it was the plan all along? I don't know. You know, like when you find out that one guy of the what are they, the Rangers or something, whatever they were called, the dudes that go zooming and slicing and all that shit. Scout, I think it was, yeah, the Scouts. Sorry, yeah. It's like, what was it, season 3 or 4? It was like, oh, it turns out this Scout's been a Titan all along. Yet there was no hint of it before then, and it's like, so you just applying that character to that character to try and keep it interesting? I don't know. But for the most part, absolutely fantastic, brutal, great storytelling. Anime just tends to nick at me sometimes, like when they feel the need to do like an inner monologue of some guy talking for 45 seconds, explaining what we literally just watched. It's like, dude, I know what's happening, you know, from context. No, I don't need the obvious pointed out to me. It just, yeah, that annoys me. Very much so. Fist of the North Star is badass. Damn right it is, Nate. Oh, and happy birthday, Nate. What sort of stuff you up to later? Because I've still got to do a video later. Well, I might do it tomorrow, depending on how this all goes and whatnot. But got to do the Nate birthday special. We did one for Ross. And we know it's your birthday. Got to do it there and all. Oh yes. So what theme video would you like, my friend? But it probably will be tomorrow. I mean, this will probably count as my video for today. But yeah, I never saw Cowboy Bebop, but I have heard that's a really cool series. You know, I like that kind of stuff. A little bit off the wall, a bit quirky. Because I also love like a lot of those blaxploitation movies as well. So I like stuff like that. Like, I want to see like Afro Ninja as well. I haven't seen that yet, and I've heard that's really cool. Oh, you got a new record player, have you? Oh, well, what did you get? Something fancy? Do you like Pseudo God? I've not heard them, my friend. I don't think. The name's not ringing any bells. And how about your favorite war metal? That would be a cold video. And the genre I'm trying to get into more. Like, well, I mentioned earlier, I don't think you were here at the time, maybe, but war metal is definitely something like all genres. You know, like there's a small handful that I really like, and the rest of it is just like, you know, there to fill space. But for me, I think when it comes to war metal, the main bands that I like, of course, the classics like, you know, Blasphemy, Conqueror, Revenge, Goat Penis, Black Witchery, and then you've got like, you know, Nile Domination, Blood Chalice, Goat Penis, Tetragrammaticide. They've got a little bit more of a sort of a Goat Penis sound to them. They've got a few Nile kind of influences in there too, but you know, war metal nonetheless. And a lot of people get confused with war metal too. They're like, well, this doesn't sound anything like Blasphemy. It's like, yeah, Cannibal Corpse sounds nothing like Entombed either. They're still death metal. You know, it's just, it's craziness. It's like the Russian Titan Blood, but with more risk and slightly less chaos. Oh, okay, I can get into that. Yeah, Titan Blood, another good one. I like them. Goatcraft as well. They're another good one. I'm just sort of looking at my collections and stuff. I want to see if anything pops out. But yeah, there's war metal. Anti-Siege Machine are pretty cool. I haven't got any of their stuff, but if it, as and when it becomes available at a better price for me, you know, I'll be straight on that. May I ask a horror-related question? Absolutely, Freddie, my friend, you absolutely may. We love a bit of horror around here. Oh, yes. Yeah, I need to check out some more Russian bands. There are some good ones out there, you know, like, for example, Phantasm, right up there. Great record. An absolutely good Keeper of Death. Classic early 90s, but early to mid 90s Russian death metal. Really, really cool. Will I watch Scream 7? No! Didn't know there was that many. Jesus, I thought it was like 5. I thought it would be like 5 or 6, but it was actually like 7. Jesus. So, no, I won't be watching that, man. I only like the first one. Where Aaron stands on that. I mean, how many ghost faces can you really have? I loved the first and second Scary Movie films as well. Those are great, man. Like, I remember when that first one came out, oh my, I was crying with tears, man, because just fucking, that's the shit right there. What else is coming out these days? Is there another Texas Chainsaw movie coming? I love me some Texas Chainsaw. I'm all about those movies. I don't give a fuck. People are like, oh, this one shit, that one shit. Oh, it wasn't this. Dude, it's a motherfucking film called Texas Chainsaw Massacre. As long as it's based in Texas and there's a geezer running around massacring people with a chainsaw, it lives up to everything the title promised. If it gives me that, let's fucking go. You know? That's how I do things. That's what we got here. Have you heard of Aberration from Norway or Abhorrence from Brazil? Yes, I have indeed. Two of my favorite death metal bands. Yeah, they're cool, man. I haven't got anything from either of them. Abhorrence, I was close to getting something, but then I think that got flogged off somewhere at some point. But yeah, because I didn't. I think I just missed out on it. I think it like sold out before I got to it. But yeah, a bit of a shame. But no, they're a cool band. No bands apart from. So you're new to metal. Okay, you literally know no bands apart from you think Miss Sugar and Cannibal Corpse. Okay, well, there's some really cool shit we can get you onto for sure. Let's see. I mean, right now, I'm listening to Necrotomy from Australia. This is an early 90s band. Put out 3 demos. Really cool shit. Yeah, Crisian are one of those bands for me where it's like, I get it, but whenever I'm listening to it, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure why, because they tick all the right boxes, but yeah, whenever I just try listening to them, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. And then I'll suddenly, like, my mind will drift off somewhere, and I'll come back and be like, oh, we're on like track 6 or 7. I didn't even know the first song ended. No, so I definitely need to give Crisian more time, but it's just, I give so many bands time as it is already, you know, so it's definitely a hard one. What other sort of early other death metal essentials is be like Entombed, Left Hand Path. You can't go wrong with that. Be honest, dude, if you just look through a load of my videos and see anything like any names or artwork that takes up, like, brings up your attention, and yeah, that's definitely worth having a look through to find some new bands. I mean, are you looking for stuff that's similar to Cannibal Corpse? Because if so, I'd recommend the album Misanthropic Carnage by Severe Torture. That's a great record. And also Man's True Nature by Infernal Torment. If you like Cannibal Corpse, like that old school stuff, that's definitely one that a couple of bands to check out right there. What's your favourite band? The Misfits is my favourite band. A horror punk band from America, New Jersey. They started in 1977. Fantastic band. And probably closely followed by Mortician. Anything by Mortician is a win. So if you want some more death metal, get on I'd highly recommend Chainsaw Dismemberment by Mortician or Hacked Up for Barbecue. But like I said, you can't go wrong with any Mortician. Or if you just want something small to go in with at first because they're pretty intense, you can do a lot fucking worse than the House by the Cemetery EP by Mortician. Absolutely fantastic record. Definitely one of my favourites, and probably I would even go so far as to say that, in my opinion, is the heaviest record ever made. Others can disagree, of course, because some people's idea of heavy and other people's idea of heavy are two different things. But now for me, that ticks all the boxes of what I think like heavy should be. What's he got there? Yeah, Nate's got a good recommendation there. Yeah, Suffocation, Pierce from Within, or Effigy of the Forgotten, both classic albums and essentials for checking out. Totally. Severe Torture is the best brutal death metal band, along with Deranged. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, both cool bands. I need to get some Deranged stuff. Because again, it's one of those ones that is just trying to fucking get hold of it. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But no, very cool band. I also like oh, for fuck's sake, their name was right on my Gorgasm. Great band. Bit of Masticate to Dominate, Stab Wound Orgasm, just any of that stuff. Always good. Oh yeah, you mentioned about Trumpenstrom before. I've still got to check them out, but I'll get there. Gore Lord, yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, High on Blood is a good album. I have heard. That's the one with the is that just got the knife on the cover, the white background, like it's on the floor or something? I think that's the one. That's a cool one. Drawn and Quartered is another favourite. Yeah, they're a cool band. They're sort of incantation, morbid angel kind of stuff, but very cool. Very cool. Oh, it's a syringe, right? Cool, yeah, yeah. I could see it in my brain. I think yeah, I need to. I remember Hell's Headbangers did a reissue of it, and it actually came with a syringe filled with fake blood, so that was quite fun. And, what else was there? What else was there? I mean, Autopsy. Those first Autopsy records, just that's death metal royalty right there. Severed Survival and a Mental Funeral. I like Unspeakable Acts of Cruelty, but it feels more like a jamming session. It's like some songs on there are absolutely wicked, but for me, it's sort of, yeah, it's a cool album, but I don't put it anywhere in my like favorite albums or anything. Oh, cleaning stuff. Yeah, there was a question there saying, "What is this?" What are you referring to, mate? What is this video? What is this madness? Well, I don't know if you guys can hear the music I'm listening to. It's on quite loud, but apparently my microphone doesn't pick up music too well on this bad boy. Which is fine, I guess. Cuts out background noise and whatnot, but fuck it. New Malefic Throne is good. I don't think I've heard any Malefic Throne. I know the name, but wherever I've heard them, it's not ringing any bells. What else have we got? What else have we got? My nose is itchy like a motherfucker. I've got like a nose hair doing something mental in there. Steve Tucker's other band. Oh, okay, fair enough. Old Steve Tucker. Yeah, I was never a huge fan of Tucker era Morbid Angel, but you know, what's good for the goose and the gander, etc. Putting on makeup, pretending to be a panda. Who knows? Who bloody knows? Good old Morbid Angel. Can't go wrong. So what else have we got going on here, my crazy, crazy friends? And what stuff do you want for your video, Nate? Your birthday special video? I know you're going to want something dirty and rotten, I'm sure. Or did you already come up with something? I can't remember. First three Deicide albums are absolute essentials. Essentials. I would even go so far as well to say the first two Autopsy records as well. Considered Dead and what's that second one called? The Erosion of Sanity. Definitely worth getting on to. The first two Cryptopsy records too. Blasphemy Made Flesh and None So Vile. Whoo-wee! That's some rotten, brutal death metal. They're absolute classics from the early mid-90s. Definitely worth getting on. Oh yeah. Molesting the Decapitated by Devourment from the late 90s. Regurgitations, Tales of Necrophilia. Let's have a look here. Yeah, Obscura is a cool album. I also really like their From Wisdom to Hate record as well. I think that's really underrated. I think that's a great record. Trying to think who else there is. Anything by Necrophobic. Woo-hoo-hoo. God damn. Necrophobic are a fantastic. If you throw on Nocturnal Silence, if that doesn't do it for you, none of it will. But fantastic. Birthday video. What about your favorite gore grind splits and EPs? Oh, now that's something I can do indeed. Let's have a look here. Impetigo. Oh, mate, cannot go wrong with Impetigo. Those first two records, man. I mean, Horror of the Zombies is my favourite, but Carne is definitely Ultimagunda, whatever it's called. You know the one I'm on about. Great record as well. But yeah, Impetigo all day, every day. Great band. Great band. Cannot go wrong. What else we got here? Romper Prop. Yeah, they're cool. I haven't got a lot of their stuff. I think I've got like maybe a split that's got some of their gear on it. I'm not entirely sure, but most Romper Prop I listen to, so, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's not like so my mind's going blank on me now. Did Romper Prop do Cornflakes? Did they do that record? If they did, that record's fantastic. But I get a lot of the sort of yes, excellent. Yeah, so I was on the right. Yeah, that's a great record then. Yeah, yeah, Cornflakes is a really cool one. But I remember hearing a few of their stuff, like bits of it, like afterwards, and I was like, I don't know, man. Some of it just weren't for me, and I thought with a lot of their later stuff, I felt like the sound they were going for, Bird Flesh were already doing, and way better. So, but that's just me. I could be way off the mark, but you know, it's just the way our brains sort of work, isn't it? You know. Oh yes. So yeah, I'll definitely do a gore grind video. It might be a bit later than tomorrow at this rate. So I've got to go through a lot of them and get some really good ones out. You know that. But yeah, I'd make that fucking happen. Absolutely. I've got some great gore grind stuff. One of them's right here, which I was listening to earlier. I don't know if you saw this earlier, Nate, when I showed it on camera. Look at this bad boy. Old Gore's Consumed by Slow Decay. Absolute classic from 1995. Brazil. That's the shit. This one's got all the extra live set on there as well from the More More Gore Than Before Fest from like 2015. This one's a 2015 reissue. So very cool stuff. Let's have a look here. It would be fun to do a horror themed video, Fulci versus Romero, which has a great catalogue of films. Well, Fulci. Absolutely. I mean, Romero stuff, like I love Dawn of the Dead, I love Night of the Living Dead, I love Day of the Dead. He's done a few other things, and like his stuff is obviously more iconic and probably more important, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have any of the Fulci stuff, or at least to the point like Zombie Flesh Eaters, for example, which is one of my favorite movies. But as a whole, I think Fulci's done more that I enjoy. I mean, what was that rom-com? Do you remember that Romero made? What was that called? Like, I can't remember now, but I tried sitting through that once, and I was like, holy shit. You know? Yeah, see, that's a good point. Old Space Lagoon. Fulci had a zombie versus shark. Exactly. How many movies can you see a zombie and a shark have a punch-up? And it actually looks really cool. Whose eyesight, they're just drawn towards their victims. Yeah, they're sort of called in. I don't know if you've heard the expression, but called hell zombies. Like the other ones are driven on instincts and whatnot, but Fulci's zombies are more just compelled to by evil. It's like they don't, you know, it's not about eating or anything necessarily. They might do, but a lot of the time it's literally just, yeah, the body being pulled by evil. Like evil's using that body as a puppet essentially, rather than an internal scrambling sort of thing going on. Yeah, Romero's Dead series is awesome. It is awesome. There is nothing wrong with that. Ticks all the right boxes. You know, I've got that shit myself. I watch it regularly, but like I said, the guy's more iconic, a lot more famous. has probably done a lot more Thor horror than Fulci, but it's just, if I watch their movies back to back, you know, I love House by the Cemetery, City of the Living Dead, Manhattan Baby, New York Ripper. Oh mate, it just goes on. A Cat in the Brain, Voices from Beyond, The Beyond as well. Just like zombie flesh eaters. Just yeah, he's just constantly knocking out the goods, you know. So yeah, I think as a whole, Fulci I'd probably prefer, but I wouldn't be without either of them. So yeah, both important, but one's got to win, isn't they? Doesn't take anything away from Georgie boy. Oh no, we're all clean. So what else have we got going on here? Let's see if we can squeeze in a few more questions. We're coming up to the hour mark now, so let's see if we can wrap this up with a few good ones. What have you got for me, boys and girls? I'd love to do this live thing more often as well. I quite enjoy it. Mate, nothing wrong with The Beyond being your favourite Fulci film. Not by a long shot. Great movie. Absolutely great movie. Particularly when they're in the Beyond. I think that whole thing is fantastic. And also the soundtracks for all those like 70s and the 80s Italian movies are always fantastic as well. Just getting straight in with the synthesizers. Just all about that. All about that. And if you like that kind of music, you should check out Slasher Dave. He's the keyboardist and backing vocalist and founding member of Acid Witch. Fantastic band. And his side project, Slasher Dave, he makes that kind of 70s, early 80s sort of Italian horror themed sort of music, very, you know, synths and drum machines and sort of fast paced but dreamy as well at the same time. Let's have a look here. What are your favourite full blasting speed freak death metal albums? Well, straight away coming to my mind there is Putridity. And for me, their second album, Degenerating Anthropological Euphoria, is a fucking masterpiece, and that is just brutality from start to finish, just absolute nuts. And like Dave Badia, aka Brutal Dave, he's one of the best drummers going, I think. Like that band I mentioned earlier, Tetragrammaticide, he was on their later releases. The name of it escapes me because their fucking album titles are stupid long, or they're just very hard to pronounce because they're Indian or whatnot, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, just the absolute shit. Yeah, very hard to go wrong with Putridity. And like their later stuff is fine. Like the album that came after Degenerating, that's quality as well. That was it was only one word, with an A. I think it was like, I don't even think it was called Atonement, but it was a word like that. I can't remember. But I've been trying to get hold of that for a while. When I did order it, they sent me the wrong fucking CD. And then they said, "Oh, we'll send you out we'll send it back out to you," and it never turned up. So it was just like, okay, so I guess I'm not having that one then. But eventually it will be picked up. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, the later Putridity stuff, it's absolutely fine, but it's not the Putridity that I know and love. So yeah, all about that really. All about that craziness. But there's also obviously Cryptopsy, Disgorge, like California Disgorge. And I like Mexican Disgorge, but you know, I'm like a first album only kind of guy. Like I've checked out Forensic and stuff like that and whatnot, and it's fine. It just weren't for me. I just listened to it. It was one ear out the other. But no, that first record, fucking chronic, fucking Latin shit. Yeah, that's a wicked album. Wicked album. Right. So what else have we got? Have we got any more questions down here to get the conversation going before I wrap this up. It seems we're we've come to a standstill, it seems. So maybe that'll be a good time to put it over. So I'll give it a couple more minutes just to see if there is another question that pops up. But I feel like we've done a good hour's worth here, so pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, what should I listen to next? That Necrotomy record was fantastic, of course, as it always is. Necrotomy are a cool band, again, from Australia. They did some early 90s demos. They're very cool. Just going to go do some chores. Yeah, always fun, my friend. I'm glad you managed to catch this one as well. You missed the last one, didn't you? Silly boy. Don't worry. We'll be here in the future to do some more of these. So take care of yourself, Nate. And yeah, if anybody else has got anything they want to get off their chest or ask or whatever, feel free to do it now, because, like I say, I'm going to be wrapping this up in a minute. Cleaning the old grinder. Gonna get nice and clean. Can't be having that sticky nonsense. Alright, cool. Well, I think that is where we'll leave it then. Excellent. So, you guys, I'm going to be doing some more. I probably won't do a video today because this is going to count for it, I think. And just, I've got so much shit to get on with as well. So, you know, I probably could have done it in that time that I just spent going live, but I don't know, I fancy chilling with the homies. So, make it happen. Cheers for joining us. This was really good fun. I always enjoyed doing this. This is my second time doing this, and both times have been great. So, I'm definitely up for doing this a lot more. So if you guys are about, please feel free to jump in, do what you got to do. Cheers, Lagoon, my friend. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like I say, let's try and get this pumping, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Support your local scene and your local record store, and be nice to hedgehogs, because hedgehogs are awesome. Take care.